From translation, ISV International Standard Version. This 34th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Leviticus 8 to 10. Leviticus chapter 8, verses 1 to 36. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, the garments, the anointing oil, the bull of the sin offering, the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble the whole congregation at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly was gathered at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, This is what the Lord has commanded to be done. Then Moses presented Aaron and his sons, washed them with water, and put on Aaron the tunic, the robe of the ephod itself, and the decorated band, tying it around him. He placed the breastpiece on him, and in the breastpiece he put the Urim and the Thummim. Then he set the turban on his head, and on the turban in front he placed the golden plate, the holy diadem, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, anointing the altar with all its utensils and the basin with its stand, to consecrate them. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him to consecrate him. Then Moses brought Aaron's sons, clothed them with tunics, tied sashes around them, and put headbands on them, as the Lord had commanded Moses. He brought the bull for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the bull for the sin offering. Moses slaughtered it, and took the blood, and put it on the horns of the altar with his finger. And he purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. Thus he consecrated it to make atonement for it. He took all the fat that was on the entrails, the lobe of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses burned them on the altar. But the bull, its hide, its flesh, and its dung, he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he presented the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses slaughtered it and splashed the blood against the altar all around. He cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burned the head, the pieces, and the fat. He washed the entrails and the legs with water, and Moses burned the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt offering for a soothing aroma, a food offering to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he presented the 2nd ram, the ram of ordination, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses slaughtered it, and took some of its blood, and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. He also brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the lobe of their right ear, on the thumb of their right hand, and on the big toe of their right foot, and Moses splashed the blood against the altar all around. Then he took the fat tail, all the fat that was on the entrails, the lobe of the liver, the 2 kidneys with their fat, and the right thigh. From the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, 1 cake of bread mixed with oil, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat pieces and on the right thigh. He put all these on the hands of Aaron and his sons, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands, and burned them on the altar on top of the burnt offering. It was an ordination offering for a soothing aroma, a food offering to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses took the breast, and waved it as a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' portion from the ram of ordination, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses took some of the anointing oil, and some of the blood that was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron and his garments, and on his sons and their garments with him. He consecrated Aaron, his garments, his sons, and their garments with him. Then Moses said to Aaron and his sons, Boil the meat at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and eat it there with the bread that is in the basket of ordination offerings, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. What remains of the meat and the bread you shall burn with fire. For 7 days you shall not go beyond the entrance of the tent of meeting, until the days of your ordination are completed, for your ordination will last 7 days. This is what has been done on this day, to make atonement for you. At the entrance to the tent of meeting you shall remain day and night for 7 days, keeping the charge of the Lord, so that you will not die, for so I have been commanded. Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord commanded through Moses. Leviticus chapter 9, verses 1 to 24. On the 8th day Moses summoned Aaron and his sons, and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, Take a bull for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering, both without defect, and present them before the Lord. Then say to the Israelites, Take a male goat for a sin offering, a calf and a lamb, both a year old and without defect, for a burnt offering, and a bull and a ram for a fellowship offering to sacrifice before the Lord, and a grain offering mixed with oil, for today the Lord will appear to you. They brought what Moses commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire assembly came near and stood before the Lord. Then Moses said, This is what the Lord has commanded you to do, so that the glory of the Lord may appear to you. Moses said to Aaron, "Come to the altar, and prepare your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and for the people. And present the offering for the people, and make atonement for them, as the Lord has commanded." So Aaron came to the altar, and slaughtered the calf of the sin offering that was for himself. The sons of Aaron presented the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat of the sin offering he burned on the altar. The flesh and the hide he burned with fire outside the camp. He slaughtered the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons handed him the blood, and he splashed it against the altar all around. They handed him the pieces of the burnt offering and the head, and he burned them on the altar. They washed the entrails and the legs, and burned them with the burnt offering on the altar. Then he presented the people's offering, and took the male goat for the people's sin offering, and slaughtered it and offered it for sin, as he had done with the first one. He presented the burnt offering, and offered it according to the regulation. He presented the grain offering, took a handful of it, and burned it on the altar, besides the burnt offering of the morning. Then he presented the bull and the ram as a fellowship offering to the people, and Aaron's hands brought the fat tail, the fat that covers the entrails, the lobe of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and the right thigh. From the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, 1 cake of bread mixed with oil, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat pieces and on the right thigh. He put all these on the hands of Aaron and his sons, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands, and burned them on the altar on top of the burnt offering. They were a fellowship offering for a soothing aroma, a food offering to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people and blessed them, and he came down from offering the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the fellowship offering. Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting. When they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Fire came out from before the Lord, and consumed the burnt offering and the fat on the altar. When all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Leviticus chapter 10, verses 1 to 20. Now the sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, each took his censer, put fire in it, and added incense. And they offered strange fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. Fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord meant when he said, 'I will show myself holy among those who are near me, and before all the people I will be glorified.'" Aaron was silent. Moses summoned Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Aaron's uncle Uzziel, and said to them, "Come forward, carry your brothers away from the front of the sanctuary to a place outside the camp." So they came forward and carried them in their tunics out of the camp, as Moses had ordered. Then Moses said to Aaron and his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not uncover your heads or tear your clothes, lest you die, and bring wrath on the whole congregation. Let your relatives, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning that the Lord has kindled. Do not go out from the entrance to the tent of meeting, lest you die, for the anointing oil of the Lord is on you." So they did according to the word of Moses. Then the Lord spoke to Aaron, saying, "You and your sons are not to drink wine or any other intoxicant when you enter the tent of meeting, or you will die. This is a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You are to distinguish between the holy and the common, and between the unclean and the clean. You are to teach the Israelites all the statutes that the Lord has spoken to them through Moses." Moses said to Aaron, "Take the grain offering that remains from the Lord's food offerings, eat it without yeast beside the altar, for it is most holy. You must eat it in a holy place, because it is your portion and your son's portion from the food offerings of the Lord, for this is what was commanded me. But the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the contribution you may eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you. For these have been given to you and your sons from the peace offerings of the Israelites. The thigh that was contributed, and the breast of the wave offering they are to bring with the contributions of the fat pieces to be waved as a wave offering before the Lord. These will be your portion, and your son's portion from the food offerings of the Israelites." When Moses inquired carefully about the goat of the sin offering, he found that it had been burned up. So he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's remaining sons, saying, "Why did you not eat the sin offering in the sacred area? For it is most holy, and God has given it to you to remove the guilt of the community, to make atonement for them before the Lord. Since its blood was not brought into the sanctuaries in a court, you should have eaten it in the sacred area, as I commanded." Aaron said to Moses, "Today they presented their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord, but things like this have happened to me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would the Lord have approved?" When Moses heard this, he was satisfied.